Alright everyone, buckle up because we got about 34 years to cover and we gotta do it fast. Quick Muppet recap. The big six Muppet performers. Jim, Jerry, Richard, Steve, Dave, and Frank. Got them memorized? Good. It's 1989. The Henson Company has begun negotiations with Disney for them to take the Muppets. Keep in mind, in the 80s, Muppet Mania was at its peak. After the success of the Muppet Show, 3 popular movies, multiple specials, and guest appearances on talk shows, the Muppets were everywhere. In August of 1989, the Muppets entered a merger agreement with Disney. Disney and the Muppets made plans for the entire year of 1991 where the Muppets would take over the Disneyland park. They made an hour-long special with the Muppets at Disney World, which premiered May 6, 1990. At the same time, the Muppets were working on the beloved Disney World attraction Muppet Vision 3D. This was all a promotional campaign for the Disney-Muppet merger. Then something terrible happened. On May 16, 1990, Jim Henson passes away due to bacterial pneumonia at the age of 53. He died 10 days after the Muppets at Disney World special aired, and he never got to see the Muppets 3D finished. 1 year later, all discussions between Disney and the Muppets stopped. Frank Oz once said, "The Disney deal is probably what killed Jim. It made him sick." 2 years later, another Muppet performer passes away. Richard Hunt died in 1992 of AIDS complications not long after he lost his longtime partner. During the 90s, the Muppets were bouncing around from film studio to film studio. At this time, the Muppets faced different challenges, especially who would play Jim and Richard's old characters. They were spread amongst the cast. Most notably, Kermit the Frog would be performed by Steve Whitmire. While Disney got the film rights to Muppets Christmas Carol and Muppet Treasure Island, they still did not own the Muppets themselves. The Muppets had projects from other studios like a few TV specials, a new variety show, Muppets Tonight, which lasted 2 seasons, and the Muppets from Space. Moving into the 2000s, the Muppets had even less of a prevalence in media, doing a few commercials here and there, and a Christmas special in 2002, It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie. At the same time, Frank Oz stepped down from the Muppets to focus on directing, and Jerry Nelson too began to step back from the Muppets, focusing on working at Sesame Street, leaving only 2 original Muppet performers, Dave Goelz and Steve Whitmire. In 2004, Disney acquired the Muppets for $75 million. Now that they finally had them, Disney didn't really know what to do with them. They created the not well-received TV special Muppets Wizard of Oz and another Christmas special Muppets Letter to Santa. Then in 2009, the Muppets started a YouTube channel and produced little videos and skits, which were very popular. In 2011, the Muppets had their first big break in over a decade with the help of Jason Segel and Amy Adams. The Muppets was a smash hit musical, winning the Oscar for Best Original Song, Man or Muppet. Jerry Nelson even had an uncredited cameo in the movie, returning as the announcer for the Muppet Telethon before he passed away in 2012. Following the success of the first film, production on the sequel quickly started, originally titled The Muppets Again, and later changed to The Muppets Most Wanted. The next project made by Disney was ABC's comedy The Muppets, lasting only for 1 season, and thus the Muppet revival ends 4 years after it began. Currently, The Muppet Babies reboot 2018 is the most popular Muppet thing since 2011. Now, here's where the tea gets hot. In 2017, Steve Whitmire, who puppeteered Kermit for nearly 30 years, was suddenly fired from the Muppets and Jim Henson Company. While reasons are still largely unclear on all sides, Kermit was given to longtime puppeteer Matt Vogel, who performs Kermit to this day, leaving only 1 original Muppet performer left in the franchise, Dave Goelz. In 2019, Disney had plans to make a sequel to the beloved Muppet movie Muppets Take Manhattan entitled Muppets Live Another Day, led by Josh Gad. Then production stopped due to a sudden change in upper management and subsequent creative differences. Instead, what we got was the Disney Plus show Muppets Now, which is a series of quick short videos that got slapped together made during COVID, so the segments were filmed at puppeteers' homes. We also got the Muppets Haunted Mansion made in fall 2021. The best thing to come out of Disney Plus with the Muppets is them putting up all 5 seasons of the original Muppet Show. In May of 2023, the most recent installment of Muppets Media came out. The Muppets Mayhem Show centered around the 6 members of the Electric Mayhem Band and co-starred Lily Sings. As a Muppet fan, I very much enjoyed the series and thought it stayed true to the spirit of the Muppets. They even won the Children and Family Emmy Award for Outstanding Children or Family Viewing Series. But guess what? The second season of the show was canceled by Disney. As of November 2024, there hasn't been any new Muppets media except for the occasional social media post. There has been a major update in the Disney Muppets situation. Disney is planning on removing the Muppets 3D attraction and replacing it with a Monsters Inc. land. They are renovating the Rock and Roller Coaster and making it Electric Mayhem Band themed. The news of Disney replacing the Muppets Vision 3D upset many Muppet fans. Muppet Vision 3D has delighted Disney goers for more than 30 years. It was one of Jim Henson's last projects and a testament to his legacy. And Disney doesn't seem to care. I'd understand if they were moving the attraction, but as far as I know, they're completely removing it and not looking back. Now, I just spat a lot of information at you because it's important for you to understand how the Muppets got into this mess with Disney in the first place. The Muppets have been dormant from mainstream media for nearly 8 years. How Disney is able to maintain so many multi-billion-dollar franchises, and yet they are not taking advantage of one of the most popular and recognizable franchises in the last 50 years. It's because Disney has no faith in the Muppets and would rather play it safe. But that's the problem. Jim Henson's Muppets were all about experimentalism and pushing the envelope, both technologically and socially. Back in the 70s, nobody thought the Muppet Show would work, only for it to become one of the most popular shows at its time. And even worse, puppeteers are terrified. If Disney is willing to fire a founding member of the Muppets and Kermit's puppeteer, then no one is safe to speak out against the decisions made by the Disney Corporation, because apparently they could be replaced like that. Frank Oz has even said in an interview he'd be willing to go back to the Muppets, but Disney doesn't want him. In fact, several founding members are still alive, but Disney continues to drive away creatives and founders because they don't fit into the little box Disney puts the Muppets in. In conclusion, despite what Disney believes, the Muppets are still relevant today, and they are an important part of our pop culture. They just need to step back and have more faith in the creative team and puppeteers who have worked on these beloved characters since the beginning.